Hey everybody, how's it going? B Temple back again. And today we've got ourselves something that's only sort of come out in the last recent period of time, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't know exactly how many months ago we started seeing these, but these are new military rations. I guess one meal, single meal military rations from Latvia. They look a lot different than what the Latvian rations used to look like. Original Latvian rations were sort of, instead of portrait style, they were landscape style, and they were in like these black, thin plastic pouches, and then eventually they turned to tan-colored plastic pouches. But now they're in these sort of, you know, resealable stand-up pouches, and it's not quite the same sort of plastic. I assume it's that sort of mix of plastic and sort of metal lining, that sort of thing. So yeah, so this is what the new Latvian rations look like. This particular menu, number 4, which is pea porridge with smoked pork. I don't believe that particular one has been reviewed yet. So I thought that would be a good menu to give a try. So we'll open this up and we'll start looking at some of the items that we have. First, we got ourselves a chocolate bar, 50 grams. Feels pretty substantial. One of our standard Latvian items, we got ourselves some rye bread. Got a packet of soy sauce. Got ourselves a flameless ration heater. And here's our main. We've got ourselves, it's from a company called Cronus. And I believe it is actually made in Latvia. And yeah, we've got pea porridge with meat. It says meat here. I think it said, yeah, smoked pork is one of the, if I can catch that a little bit better. But yeah, smoked pork is one of the main items in it. Got a packet of what looks like golden raisins, or maybe sultanas, although I mean they are called raisins. And we've got ourselves some almonds. Got a packet of toilet paper or tissue. Got a packet of rice porridge with blueberries. Got an information sheet here. Tells you what instructions are for use, each item, and then the actual weight of them along with the amount of protein, fat, carbs, and then calorie content. Then we've got our brew kit, or whatever you want to call it, accessories. We've got 2 20-gram packs of sugar. As usual, the Latvian rations give you lots of sugar. 3 Nescafe coffees and a gold tea. Got a little bit of high drop ethanol, hand disinfectant gel, and some wet wipes, and a piece of watermelon flavored power gum. And last, we got a rubber band, and they actually give you a wooden spoon. So yeah, this is everything laid out. So a fair bit of stuff here. I mean, we've got our bread and our chocolate, and our rice pudding, and our almonds and raisins, and a main meal. And then 2 different beverages, things like that. So the soy sauce seems like a kind of a strange kind of mix, although maybe it'll go well with the pea porridge and smoked pork. I guess we'll find out. So yeah, we'll start opening some stuff up and get some things heated up, and then we'll come back and try everything out. All right, everybody, so we're back again now, and everything's all laid out. We've got our fairly substantial 50-gram dark chocolate bar. We've got our almonds, which look like they're just raw almonds. Gum. We've got our I guess our rice pudding, rice porridge with blueberries. We got our golden raisins, and then we've got our pea porridge, as they call it, and smoked pork. So, you know, well, here, pea soup is a fairly standard kind of meal that gets made a lot. So this is obviously just its thicker sort of version, and you can see the actual yellow split peas themselves are still fairly solid. And then we've got big chunks of, I guess, what looks mostly like ham. That's what the ingredients sort of made it look like. We got a little bit of carrot, a little bit of onion, little bit of black pepper. It's one thing I think this is missing if I wanted a little bit extra black pepper. None came. I'll try some on its own first, and then I'll try a little bit with the soy sauce just to see what that adds. One big thing I got to give huge props to the Latvian rations for now. They're always known for their rye bread anyway. Sometimes you would have a horribly difficult time getting them unfused, and it seems like now what they're doing is they're actually putting a little small thin piece of plastic in between each slice, so now all of a sudden you don't have that problem. So that's a neat little inclusion that they have. That's, I think, made the quality of this a lot better. And we've got our black tea. So yeah, let's dive right in. This is what looks like for an 8-hour meal. I would probably call this more of a 12-hour. This is fairly substantial. You're getting an awful lot of food here. And food is going to keep you going if you're I guess a soldier in the Latvian military, or someone who happens to be doing exercises with the Latvians on some sort of NATO exercise, something like that. And you're sharing rations, things along that nature. So yeah, there's an awful lot of food here, and I'm looking forward to giving it a try. So yeah, let's dive right into the main. I would call myself not a huge fan of pea soup, so I'm interested to see what this is particularly like. I know here, the pork part would probably be actually beef, and in the form of salt beef. But we'll see how this tastes. Wow, they weren't lying about the smoky part of the pork. That really comes through, and the meat's nice and tender. And yeah, this is absolutely delicious. Let me go in for another little bit of that. That is delicious. Let me just cleanse the palate a little bit. Ooh, that is some really nice black tea. I'm not going to say I don't want to ruin this, but I think I will try some of this with the soy sauce on it. It's an interesting thing. It tells you just to lay it over and then crack it like this. There we go. All right, that looks good. Let's give it a try now with the soy sauce, see if that adds obviously a little bit more sodium content. See what that does to the taste. Let's give that big heaping spoonful a try. Oh wow, that really brings it up. I'm quite surprised actually. It's a really earthy, rich tasting soy sauce. So that just brings everything out. Wow, I am amazingly impressed about how good this is. This is one of the best ration mains I think I have ever had in the, God, what, 6-7 years now I've been doing ration reviews. This is absolutely amazing. I think the only thing that would make this even better if this came with some black pepper to throw on top, but I have zero complaints about this whatsoever. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. That's amazing. I'll clean off the spoon a little bit. It's interesting getting a wooden spoon now. I don't know if that's just a conscious decision on Latvia's part to be a little more, I don't know, environmentally friendly or something along those lines, or they were finding that the plastic spoons were breaking too easily. It is a little flimsy, but, you know, I have no complaints about it. It's obviously a pretty shallow spoon, but it does its job. Let's try out our rice porridge. I don't think I put enough water in there. Now that I'm stirring this up a little bit. So yeah, let's give our blueberry rice porridge a try. I think if I would have put like literally another ounce of water in there, that would have made this so much better. The rice is like 90%, I guess, rehydrated, but that little bit of bite actually makes it interesting, and get the nice sweetness from the powder that they had in there. Maybe there's a little bit of powdered sugar or something like that, or just in the powdered blueberries they have, but this is amazing. There you go. Yeah, can't make any complaints about that whatsoever, aside from my error of just skimping on the water just slightly. Yeah, let's try out the rye bread. I've never ever gotten this to work out right. Any Latvian ration I've ever had, because of the problem of them fusing together, I've never really gotten to enjoy it a whole lot. So it's going to be interesting to see what this is like now. When you do get two identifiable separate slices. So let's just try it on its own first. Wouldn't call myself a huge fan of dark rye bread, but that's nice, I must say. It's a really rich, deep, bold flavor. Let's try it as a vehicle, I guess, for some more of this pea porridge and see how these go together. And yeah, that's the way to go when it comes to those two items. Eat those two together. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, there's nothing bad to say about this meal whatsoever. Let's try out some of the almonds on their own. These are just what appear to be just raw almonds. And yeah, there you have it. Perfectly nice and fresh. One gripe I probably would have was, I think these would taste better if they were roasted. But that's just being a little nitpicky. These are perfectly fine. You're getting all the nutritional value that you need out of this. And you're not getting any sort of extra salt that maybe you don't need because, well, you just doused a bunch of soy sauce onto what was probably already a fairly salty meal because it's just sitting in a pouch, so it needs that extra bit of, you know, I guess, preservation. But, yeah, no complaints about that at all. Now, I normally wouldn't call myself a fan of raisins, but let's give these golden ones a try. Those are nice. Really nice and sweet. Still have a little bit of moisture left to them. They're nice and fresh. Obviously, this is a very fresh ration. Let's see if I can find a... See, I think it says best before 01/10/2023. So I guess if we're taking the European system, which would probably be day, month, year. So, you know, this is best before the 1st of October, I guess, 2023. So everything is very fresh. That means it was probably made maybe in October of last year. So, you know, in the grand scheme of things for a ration, this is incredibly fresh. That's why all the items are in perfect condition, you know. And pretty much all we have left, aside from, you know, trying not to gum and taking another swig of our tea, is our 50-gram dark chocolate bar. Let's give it a snap. Ooh. Yeah, that's a perfect dark chocolate. Yeah, I don't know what the percentage of that is. It's certainly not like a high percentage. It's not 70%. I'd probably put that somewhere like in the 50 to 60 range. There's a little bit of creaminess to it and a little bit of sweetness. So maybe it's like a little bit of milk chocolate mixed in with dark. But yeah, you couldn't ask for any better than that when it comes to ration chocolate. So yeah, you put this all together, and these new Latvian rations, they're very similar, obviously, to the older Latvian rations, just the mains have been updated slightly. I would call these perhaps some of the best single meal rations that are out there right now, based on this particular menu. Maybe some other menus aren't good, but this is my first time trying the new version of Latvian rations. And this is hands down, this is just entered into my top 10 of all time. These are, I don't know what they're supplanting, but they're kicking something out of my top 10. This is an absolutely amazing ration. All right, one final thing to try out. We've got our Power Gum watermelon flavor. It's just one little stick. And that's a really nice chewing gum. I don't know if it's meant to be a dental gum or if it's just meant to be a chewing gum. But obviously it's going to have that artificial watermelon flavor. But it's really subtle. It's not as strong as you might find in certain, like, you know, watermelon candies. Or like a watermelon flavored, like, sports drink or something like that. It's a nice subtle, obviously fake, but a nice subtle watermelon flavor. And yeah, it's a really enjoyable piece of gum. So yeah, this doesn't happen very often for someone who tries to do some vintage rations, and usually they don't turn out well. It's nice to try something out that's fresh and then ends up being absolutely delicious. Like I've said, this is one of the best ration mains I have ever had in my entire life. And I'm going to probably have to try to track down more of this particular menu because this is absolutely amazing. I could eat this every single day and not feel bad about it. You know, it's nice and hearty. You know, you don't feel like you're getting a whole lot of, you know, overly processed garbage, way too much, you know, refined sugars, way too much whatever. It feels like if you were a soldier, this is something that's going to, you know, sustain you and fill your belly, which is really what you're looking for. As, you know, Napoleon said, an army marches on its stomach. So, really not a whole lot else to say, everybody. This has been a menu number 4 of the new version, new style of Latvian rations from, I assume, 2022. And that's it. I guess we'll head on now, and hopefully I'll get back to you guys as soon as I possibly can with a new review. Hopefully something that's also as equally good as this is. So, like I always like to say, thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a good one.